So I got linked to one of this dude's tweets not long back. It was going through like the best NFT games, the best games coming to Web3 and all that great stuff. And I went through and I looked at what, first impressions, what my eyeballs tell me from just seeing like a small trailer, if they even had one, which some of them didn't, which I'm not sure how you're making any kind of determination on whether or not something's going to be good when it doesn't even have a fucking trailer, and trailers are not even good as a way to eyeball whether something's going to be the future. It's not even a good way to eyeball whether it's going to be playable or remotely decent, let alone the future. But this one, Web3 gaming is getting a massive push. Epic Games to launch 20 NFT games. Now, I remember, of course, when Valve came out and said, hardline here, we're taking a stance. There is already some NFT crypto games on Steam, but we're not going to allow, we're not letting that stuff on the platform, which means if you're already on the platform and you're one of these things, you have to stop or you're going to get removed. And the way that they did it, and the way that this has been policed, is basically Valve in a nutshell. They take a stance on things by way of, is it going to make us liable? Is it going to cause us problems in the future? How can we get away from it while still profiting? Because that's what they do. And the way that they did it was essentially to say, you can be on the platform, but nobody should be able to interact with any of these things via the Steam platform downloaded version of the game, which essentially means games like Mer 4 are still on there. You can download the game, you can play the game, but the buttons to interact with the NFT stuff and the cryptocurrency stuff, you can't use. So essentially what the game does is serve as a board for advertising. Download the game, play it if you like it. Maybe you're going to want to get into this funny money stuff. And if you do, you can just go download the version on their website or on the mobile phone, and then you can do it. So they did a soft ban, I guess, because they still get the benefit of having them on the platform, but they don't have the liability of, if something goes wrong, they can't interact with these things that are going through some legislative issues at the moment, let's say. What Epic did at the time when Valve came out and said that they're banning NFT, crypto, Web3 stuff, is they said, we're open to it, because of course they are, because Epic Games is trying to be different, right? They're trying to do things differently to Steam. They're trying to capture more of a market share from Steam, and they've been doing that by giving people free games and things like that. Now, I will just say, me as a gamer, as a consumer, as a person who buys and uses products, sometimes for reviews, mostly just for my own experience, I have no problem with Epic Games. A lot of people are very misguided in their, criticisms of Epic Games. And it comes from, I'd imagine, mostly a place of having read stuff online or just ease of use. They just basically want everything to be on Steam because they like Steam and they're used to Steam and they have a Steam account. I will just say that is, while understandable, a really bad position in life because monopolies are not good, and only having Steam allows Valve to do whatever they want because there is no alternative to go to. So people should at least, not go out of your way to support things that are bad, but just support things enough if there's stuff on there that's worth keeping it alive for, and hopefully having a competitor and another option to go to if Valve were to, turn into a really bad company and start doing things that are way worse than they currently do. A lot of people's opinions of Epic come from some really, really widespread and terribly misinformed and incorrect information about Epic Games being like spyware for Chinese corporations and things like that. As far as I remember, I went through it at the time, and again, this was a while ago, there was no real truth to that whatsoever. It was basically something that was published and then repeated ad nauseum without anybody checking the facts on it. Now, of course, there was some valid complaints about Epic Games. It's a little bit slow. The storefront doesn't look very good. And in general, they're missing features. But if you remember the fact that Steam's been around for a very, very long time, of course, it's not going to be on parity with features of a product that's been around for so much longer and has had so much time and money invested into it. That's just an unreasonable expectation. We will get to this thread in a minute, by the way. I am just building up to it, because this is important context about why I'm going to talk about why this is not that big of a deal that people are making it. Some of people's complaints were, it doesn't have a search feature on the store. I remember that was a big thing, and it doesn't have a cart to add multiple games to the cart before you buy multiple at a time. I remember when people were making that complaint, there was like 12 games on the store. I don't know if there is now. I've never had to use it. I don't even buy multiple games on Steam at the same time. I don't know what people are doing differently to me where they're buying multiple games. I feel like that's a bit of a, it's not there, so we're going to complain about it despite the fact it's not that big of a deal. But definitely there are reasons to not like the user experience of the Epic Store. I will just say I use it personally when I need to. If there's something that's cheaper, if there's something that's on Epic and it's not on Steam, I'm just going to buy it because I don't fucking care. I don't care. I've already got it installed. It's a second thing to open. It makes fuck all difference to me anyway. But that's just to say a lot of people don't like Epic Games. They don't like Epic Games Store and they just refuse to use it. How Epic have been going about trying to get around that is just giving people free shit. Give people loads of discounts, have loads of sales, and give people free games, which gets people on the platform. But there was some stat released recently. I'm not going to go and check what it was, but it was basically the retention that they got from giving people free games. And it was so incredibly low to the point where it looks like it wasn't worth it. But they're continuing, so maybe it was to them. But that just goes to show that the big push of, this is a massive push, I think that might be overstated a little bit, because I think what this will do, more likely, will be a massive push from more people who already had reasons to not like the Epic Game Store to just say this is another reason why fuck the Epic Game Store. It's not popular among at least the vocal minority online. I don't know statistically whether it's popular between people that don't use Twitter and don't use Reddit and don't complain online about stuff. But I just know in my little bubble of looking at things online, people generally, the vast overwhelming opinion that I see is people just don't want to use and don't like using Epic Game Store. So if they turn around and say, we've got NFT games on there now, people are just going to use that as another way to say, fuck Epic Games then. Reasonably or unreasonably, that's just how it is. I'm just giving you the facts, not my opinion. So Fortnite creator Epic Games introduces 2 NFT-based games in its marketplace soon, Project Red and Defimons, decentralized finance mons. Lovely. So I'm going to look at these, I'm going to look at the trailers and see whether or not this is something that I'd be at all interested in. And why are they NFT games? Why are they doing this? What does it add? So Project Red is a mafia-themed FPS game with AAA graphics in an open world, free to play all the way. Buying a mobster NFT will level up your game. How? Explain to me how. How does this level up your game? Oh man, when they said AAA graphics, I wasn't prepared for this. I mean, it doesn't look bad. The environments look nice. The car looks like they've ported this straight from fucking one of those rally games on the PS1. Like the character model and everything. But the environment looks fine. The UI looks early, serviceable, but early. I feel like this is one thing that's going to make Unreal Engine stand out in indie gaming, is that the environments in games are always going to look amazing, but then a lot of the time it's going to not look amazing with other things. There you go, look, he's delivering some of that treated weed. So I guess this is like the old armor mods. Oh man, I'm not really sold on this gameplay, fella. Doesn't look like it has very good performance from these trailers. Wait, what? Oh my god, he's buying NFTs, look. Welcome to the Labo store. Buying some Labos. Yeah, he's buying some energy boost. XP energy boost 5 days. XP energy boost 3 days. So they're all just X boost. 2x X boosts. Amazing. There you go, free to play. I mean, I will say, of all the so far shooter game Web3 shit I've seen, this one doesn't look like it has the worst shooting mechanics. Shooting mechanics are usually quite hard to get right. It doesn't look like this one has the worst one, because I've covered some FPS games and some third-person shooter games on this channel that have all been like, oh yeah, we're the new PUBG, we're the new insert popular title, because we always have to try to be the best despite being fucking nobody. And they've looked awful with the shooting mechanics, which is the one thing you've got to nail in a shooting game, right, is the shooting mechanics. This one doesn't look like it has the worst. Still, not the future. Definitely not the future. And then, of course, we have Decentralized Finance Mons, is a gorgeous-looking MMORPG, I bet it is, in an endless world, totally free to play with choice to convert in-game assets into NFTs. Do they have some gameplay? Let's take a look. So I assume they'll have a trailer on the Epic Game Store. Man, that is bright. I mean, it just looks like a slightly updated Pokemon. I don't know, mate. They're getting copyright claimed for this one. And I can't complain. It looks like fucking Pokemon, but it's got NFTs in it. And if there's any fan base that would pay for NFTs, it'd probably be Pokemon fan base. Or, I take that back, it'd be Star Citizen, because they basically already are doing anyways. Still, not something I'm mega excited about. Would love to see the MMO elements of this. Maybe it's going to come out and it's going to be fucking amazing, in which case I'll give it a shot. Apparently it's coming out later this year as well. So while the majority of gamers are yet to accept blockchain games, that's a very optimistic sentence, Epic Games is actively in works to expand its gaming ecosystem with the goal to launch 20 NFT games by year end. Ah man, I feel like this is one of those things where why the question has to be asked, why 20 NFT games? It's like going out and seeking. I think things should be included in anything, like people, products, anything should be included based on merit, not based on it fits this criteria, it checks these boxes. You know, we're including 20 NFT games. We want 20 NFT games. Why not 12 if they're good? Why not pick only the ones that launch that are really good, that are standouts, that can stand alone and compete with other games from non-NFT producers? Why does it have to be, we're setting a goal of 20 NFT games? It just seems like you're just doing it then for some other reason than to just get the best games out there, which does nothing for me. I think that is an indictment of their policy and not really a positive, to be honest. If they were like, we have room for 20 and we're going to find the best ones, but if there's not 20, then there won't be, I'd have been much more receptive to that press statement, but no, that doesn't do it for me. So Blanco's Block Party made its debut on Epic Games Store last year and became the first NFT game to receive the launch, which obviously received backlash from gamers. Who would have thought? Never heard of this though. Never heard of it. Is it popular? There is no user statistics, is there, on Epic Games like there is on Steam? Another reason to complain about Epic Games for you lads. Because on Steam, I could have gone on and checked the Steam database entry for this and seen specifically how many people are not playing it. Maybe they have their own. I'm not going to go look, though, because I don't give a fuck, but probably not very popular. If it was, I'm sure I would have heard of it by now. So despite of that, Epic Games is not backing off. Yeah, doubling down. Love to see it. As it firmly believes in blockchain technology in the multi-billion-dollar digital asset market, it believes in them fucking M's, mate. It believes in that money. It doesn't believe in the technology. Let's be realistic, guys. If Epic Games believed in the technology, they'd be investing in creating their own. They wouldn't be having you come on their platform. They just want you to bring your money to them and give it to them because they're a company that's completely driven by profit. I guess I could have just ended that sentence. They are a company. Epic Games is massive. Over 230 million registered users and a staggering 34.3 million monthly active users, and famed for developing Fortnite. I'd love to know how many of those load up a game on average. How many hours a week do they play? How many dollars do they spend in the store? Because Epic Games just runs. I'm fairly sure Epic Games is running on my system now. It just is. And obviously a lot of people just log in to claim the free games. So I'd love to know how many people are actually actively using the platform. Because statistics look great when you use it like this. But there's one certain thing about statistics is people will use them in the way that fits their narrative and not in the way that the statistics actually work. So NFT games will hugely benefit from its user base and fame. The blockchain gaming in specific is getting a huge upvote from industry giants. Indicates the next bull market is only a matter of when, not if. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The bull market is determined almost entirely off of Bitcoin going up. If you think it's going to be determined by people buying small market cap coins that are going into these metaverse and NFT games, I think you're delusional about how the crypto market has traditionally worked. I don't think this is going to push a bull market at all. I don't think this is as massive news as people are making out. And of course, this doesn't address the first and foremost issue with NFT games, Web3 gaming, which is how do you get traditional gamers to adopt this and play it? And I think the only way you do is not to get it on a platform. Because if whether it's on Steam, whether it's on Epic, it makes no difference. If a game is good enough, people will go to fucking anywhere. They'd risk going on a website that isn't protected to download the game. They do anything. Dark and Darker is a good example of this. When Dark and Darker, which is a hugely popular game, of course, currently embroiled in some legal issues, not on Steam anymore. When they did their playtest recently, they just distributed a torrent, and half the people trying to download it had no clue how a torrent works because they're fucking Zoomers and they've never pirated TV shows in the mid-2000s or something like that. And they were still just doing it. People were like, oh, this could be a virus, this could brick your computer, this could do this could do that, and they still did it because they wanted the game that badly. Being on a platform makes no difference. Make a good game, and people will be on whatever platform you want them to be on. They'll jump through fucking hoops. They'll sell their nan at the market. They'll do whatever they're going to do to get their hands on it. Until you do that, it's not the future, and it's not a huge push, at least in my opinion. Anything like this is temporary eyeballs, and the games that are popular and earning money for Epic will be the games getting pushed on the front page and will be the games people are most likely to play. That's how storefronts work. It's the front of a store, and the things occupying that space are the ones that are driving dollars to the company. So, yeah, I think this is a big old cope, generally. Obviously not a bad thing for it to be on Epic, at least not for the people who are into this. Maybe for Epic. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think this is as big of a deal as people making it out. But there we go. That's another NFT boast. Project Red, decentralized finance mons, and other games coming to Epic Games. So here's where everyone can comment fuck Epic Games and then get caught by the auto mod on YouTube and sent to the Shadow Realm. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out.